Hey, ladies and gents, welcome back. This is going to be part 1 to What If Naruto Was an Uchiha. The reason I'm remaking this is because the original series I did was absolute garbage, so I'm remaking it. So, yeah. With that being said, the like goal on this video is just going to be 200 likes, just like my other one. You might be wondering, what do you mean? Why are you doing this one instead of the Naruto Banished Village one, whatever I wanted to call it? Well, that's because it was at like 199 likes when I first started recording this. So I was like, you know what? I might as well just have 2 what ifs running at a time, just so that way I don't have to worry about one not hitting a like goal or something like that. I can just upload the other one. So that being said, like goal on this is going to be 200 likes, and with that, let's get started into the actual what if instead of whatever the hell I've been talking about for the last 50 seconds. So, Naruto is born, he has black hair, he looks pretty much exactly like Menma, he's a little bit, paler, but he's not obviously going to be, born with a fucking Sharingan or anything like that, and he's not really treated that differently from, the villagers and shit like that, because they don't know he's an Uchiha, at least not yet. Nobody really knows he's an Uchiha, everybody just thinks he's, Naruto Uzumaki, but he has fucking black hair. Nobody questioned the fact that he had hair kind of like the 4th Hokage, so they wouldn't really question the fact that he has black hair now. So, with that, Naruto wasn't really treated too much differently among all of the villagers, and they would still, traumatize and torment him basically all the time. But one day it's worse. One day they really go too far with it, and they start actually, beating up on Naruto. They start beating up on the reason that, they lost their 4th Hokage, and they start actually, beating the fucking living hell out of Naruto. And Naruto is obviously, he's a little kid at this point. He's really freaking, emotional, and he's already been to that point where he's, being filled with hatred. And in this moment, he actually awakens the Sharingan. So you're like, wait, what? He awakened the Sharingan? Yeah, he's 7, 8 years old, but just this amount of, hatred and basically emotion make him actually awaken it at such a young age. So with Naruto awakening the Sharingan, all the villagers immediately would basically feel fear, run away, and things from here would get even worse for Naruto. Think about the fact that the Uchiha were basically segregated from the village because of the Nine-Tails attack. Think about how they treated Naruto as the Nine-Tails. Combine the two, you have an Uchiha who was supposedly controlling the Nine-Tails, who now is the Nine-Tails Fox. You're not going to be treated well if that's what you think. You're not going to be treated well at all. So most of Naruto's time wouldn't actually be spent in the village pranking and doing things like that, because anytime he does it, he just gets basically tormented of Uchiha and everything like that. He can't take it anymore. So Naruto would go into the forest to basically be by himself most of his childhood life. The Uchiha clan would still be massacred, but because of the fact that Naruto didn't actually live in the Uchiha hideout, because he didn't really know, or nobody really knew he was an Uchiha, he wouldn't have ever had to go there. So with that, he lives in his, same old apartment, and one day he notices that Sasuke, the other Uchiha, the one who doesn't really seem to pay any attention to him, he's walking around, he's a little bit more sad than usual, a little bit more pissed, a little bit more he's basically entering his edgy self phase, I guess you could say. So he notices that, and he walks up to him, and he asks Sasuke what exactly is going on. And Sasuke, not really knowing that Naruto's an Uchiha, just shrugs Naruto off. He's just like, you don't need to know what's going on with me. Your life has nothing to do with mine, and he walks away. Naruto's like, bruh, the fuck was that? I'm just trying to talk to the guy because he looks down. So he walks after Sasuke, and he kind of tells Sasuke, he's like, I'm an Uchiha too. And Sasuke's turns around, you're not a fucking Uchiha, what the hell are you talking about? And Naruto closes his eyes and then reopens them, and he has 2 Tomo Sharingan in each eye. Sasuke at this is like, bruh, no, you're not an Uchiha. You would have been killed by Itachi. And Naruto's like, wait, what? Killed? What are you talking about? And this is where Naruto first hears of the Uchiha massacre happening. So Naruto's like, wait, what? He had no idea that this was a thing. He didn't realize that happened because he's kind of he's not up to date on the village news because he's never really in the village to begin with. So Sasuke is just like, he's thinking, like, he's just like, wait, are you part of the reason they were massacred? Like, why are you alive? And then he thinks about it again. He thinks about it some more. He's like, why am I alive? And he's like, wait, what? Because he knows Itachi could have easily killed him, could have easily killed literally, like, a ton of different people that he didn't choose to. Like, yeah, he killed, like, the entire Uchiha clan, but, like, he could have killed more people to test his strength. He could have killed, like, the villagers, too, but he didn't. So he starts thinking about this, starts thinking about reasons, and maybe he actually has a reason to do this. Instead of him being completely engrossed in this, like, hatred and wanting to kill Itachi, he starts thinking maybe there is a reason to do it. Obviously, this is not going to mean that he's just going to completely forget about all of the things that Itachi has done, because that is not exactly what's going to happen. He's just thinking that maybe Itachi had a reason to do it, and before he, killed him, he was going to ask, why he did things, like, why he was doing this, why did this happen? So, with that, he starts talking to Naruto some more, because, he gains a little bit more respect and admiration for Naruto, simply for the fact that he has a 2-tomo Sharingan at such a young age, and he's like, maybe he could train or teach me to do something like that. Obviously, you can't really be trained to use the Sharingan. It has to be, like, some kind of emotion, whether it be good emotion with Sarada, or, having to awaken it like Itachi, all this, like, different stuff like that. So basically, he's like, maybe he could teach me how to awaken it. So they start training together, and both of them get much stronger than their canon selves. They're not to the point of, like, where I had, like, they're not, like, Sage Mode Naruto in the Pain arc level. Like, they're not anywhere near that strong, but, they're pretty freaking strong. They're, like, base Naruto and Shippuden, honestly. Like, they're really strong. And I'm gonna say that instead of just, like, Sasuke having the one change in chakra nature mastered, he has that, along with... Does he even have anything other than lightning? I don't know. He has fire and lightning, I'm pretty sure. I'm gonna say that Naruto has fire, lightning, and wind. So he masters fire, obviously, because I'm pretty sure that's, like, one of the easier ones to master, because it's just, like, you blow it. Like, but not in a sexual way, obviously. Because no homo for Naruto and Sasuke in this, so I'm just saying. So, oh boy. So, anyway, Naruto masters fire, because, that's pretty freaking easy. And Sasuke would actually end up, not mastering, but he has a few different lightning jutsu that he can use. Along with what am I talking about? Naruto can use some wind release jutsu too, because he went to, like, people like Asuna and, people who could actually teach him how to use his wind style release chakra, whatever the fuck. I can't remember exactly what they're called right now. And so he learns that. So years go by, and Naruto and Sasuke eventually would graduate from the academy. And remember, they're about how strong Naruto would be in, like, base and Shippuden, so they're pretty freaking powerful at this point. So Naruto goes and he graduates. He gets placed on the same team with Sasuke, simply because of the fact that, like, they realize that they're the last two Uchiha remaining, like, ever. And they place him, obviously, with Kakashi because he has a Sharingan, and, that'd be beneficial for the two people with the Sharingan, the two Uchiha, to go with the basically only other person in the village that would have a Sharingan. At this point, Naruto would have the 3-tomo Sharingan, and Sasuke still wouldn't have awakened his. He'd be pretty close to. It's not going to take much more for him to do it, obviously. But yeah, he's pretty close, but no, Naruto has a 3-tomo Sharingan at this point, giving him, like, base to base, they're pretty much exactly the same amount of power, but Naruto basically has a massive advantage if he awakens or activates the 3-tomo Sharingan. Like, remember how, like, just going from, like, 2-tomo to 3-tomo during his fight with Naruto made him be able to, like, not even be able to see Naruto, to literally being able to, like, easily react to him and completely fucking wreck him. So it's kind of like, he's a lot stronger than Sasuke. Like, maybe not, like, in terms of, like, strength and movement speed and shit like that. He's probably just a little bit above him. But, like, being able to react and easily dodge and his, like, hand-to-hand combat skills become much, much better than Sasuke's. So Naruto would basically go, he'd graduate, be placed on a team with Sasuke, and now who else would be placed on that team? Because there isn't really, like, somebody to balance that out, because Naruto was the lowest in the class before. Now he and Sasuke are, like, highest in the class, both of them. So they're like, do we even balance this out, or do we just make them, like, the strongest team, or should we just put somebody in the middle? And they decided to do exactly that. They're like, whatever. We'll just shove somebody in the middle. That way they don't get, like, held back by this one, like, slower person. So they're like, okay, whatever. We'll just we'll put Sakura, because why the fuck not? So Sakura ends up getting placed on the team because, you know, she's smart, but she can barely use, like, ninjutsu. At least in this part. Never mind. It's just the whole part. Never mind. It's just, like, the entire series. So she obviously would have a crush on Sasuke still, but she actually has a crush on Naruto too, because she's like, damn, he's hot, kind of thing. Along with Naruto never really being in the village, and kind of being similar to Sasuke in the terms that, like, he doesn't really interact with too many people all that much. So with that, Naruto goes, and he's like, Sakura? Why Sakura? Because he's kind of annoyed with Sakura. He's like, he basically just thinks she's such a fake fucking person. Like everything she does is either like, oh, I love you, or she changes her mind so much when it comes to Naruto. And Naruto's like, I don't really like her, but he's like, he doesn't really have a choice in who he gets placed on his team. He's like, I honestly would have preferred, like, fucking Hinata, because, like, he's seen her, like, spying on him and doing shit like that, because, you know, his Sharingan would allow him to do that when he's training. So he's just like, he knows that she has this massive crush on him and everything like that. So he's like, damn, I really wish Hinata would have been placed on the team, because, like, he doesn't necessarily like her in that way, but he's like, she's a lot better than fucking Sakura. Like, bruh, that's all I have to say about this. That's all I gotta say. So, with him being placed on Team 7, they basically introduce themselves. Naruto's would be actually quite different. He still wants to become the Hokage, but, like, he's not all, like, happy and upbeat like he would be normally. He's not like, I'm gonna become the Hokage and surpass all the previous... Like, he's not kind of like that. He's literally just like, I'm gonna become the Hokage, and I'm going to change a lot of things when I do become Hokage. It's not a question of whether or not I'm going to. I am going to become Hokage and change these different things. He's not, like, specifying what he's going to change, at least not yet. Sasuke's would be a little bit different. He has, like, he still, like, wants to, like, find and do stuff to Itachi, but he's, like, it's a little bit more civil, I guess you could say. He's more like, I want to question. I have a few questions for somebody that used to be part of my clan, and he's immediately Kakashi would be like, Itachi, because he's like the only fucking Uchiha left other than those two, so it's kind of like, that wouldn't really work. So Sakura's would be pretty much the same, except she'd put glances towards Naruto every once in a while too, instead of just being like, I want to marry Sasuke, I want to date Sasuke, I want Sasuke to please cock and shot me, and it's like, shut the fuck up, Sakura, nobody likes you. But that's where I'm going to leave this part off, because I fucking can. So yeah, they would begin the bell test, but I don't want to finish that. So yeah, I'll see you guys in the next part. Peace out. Bye.